Deborah Ann Harry, born Angela Trimble, July 1, 1945, is an American singer, songwriter, and actress, best known as the lead vocalist of the band Blondie. 4 of her songs with the band reached #1 on the U.S. charts between 1979 and 1981. Debbie has an estimated net worth of $30 million. Early life. Harry was born Angela Trimble on July 1, 1945, in Miami, Florida. At the age of 3 months, she was adopted by Catherine and Richard Harry, gift shop proprietors in Hawthorne, New Jersey, and renamed Deborah Ann Harry. She is of Scottish ancestry, and her biological parents' surnames were Trimble and Mackenzie. Harry learned of her adoption at 4 years old. At first, she decided against locating her birth parents, but nonetheless, in the late 1980s, located her birth mother, a concert pianist, who chose not to establish a relationship with Harry. In her memoir, she recalls being a tomboy, spending much of her childhood playing in the woods adjacent to her home. Harry attended Hawthorne High School, where she was voted best looking, graduating in 1963. She graduated from Centenary College in Hackettstown, New Jersey, with an Associate of Arts degree in 1965. Before beginning her singing career, she moved to New York City in the late 1960s and worked there as a secretary at BBC Radio's office for 1 year. Later, she was a waitress at Max's Kansas City, a go-go dancer in a discotheque in Union City, New Jersey, and a Playboy bunny. Personal life and real estate. Harry was in a relationship with the Blondie guitarist Chris Stein. The pair split up in 1987, but they remained friends. In 2011, Harry said that she and Stein were both drug users during their relationship and that they had spent time in a rehabilitation clinic and no longer used drugs. Harry is godmother to Stein's 2 daughters. In 2014, Harry revealed that she had several relationships with women in her youth. In her 2019 memoir, Face It, a memoir, Harry describes having been raped at knife point during a burglary of the home she shared with Stein. She also wrote that during the early 1970s, the serial killer Ted Bundy lured her into his car in New York City, but she escaped. Harry's description of the white vehicle stripped on the inside and missing the passenger door handle matched the 1968 VW Bundy was driving, but authorities believed him to be in Florida at the time. And Rule, author of the Bundy biography The Stranger Beside Me, commented that erroneous claims of Bundy abductions are fairly common. As of 2019, Harry lives in the Chelsea neighborhood of New York City and in Middletown Township, New Jersey with her 4 dogs. In 2016, Debbie paid $785,000 for an 18th-century colonial home set on 26 acres in Roxbury, Connecticut. In November 2023, she listed this home for rent for $6,000 per month. Philanthropy. In a 2011 interview, Harry said that after witnessing Elton John and his tireless efforts against HIV/AIDS, she had been inspired to make philanthropy her top priority. She said, "These things are important to my life now. I have the privilege of being able to get involved, so I do. I applaud people like Elton John, who have used their position to do so much good." Some of Harry's preferred charities include those devoted to fighting cancer and endometriosis. Career. Harry began her music career in the late 1960s as a backup singer for the folk rock group The Wind in the Willows. In 1974, she joined the band The Stilettos. When she left, she and her boyfriend Chris Stein co-founded Angel and the Snake with Tish and Snooky Bellomo. Finally, Harry and Stein formed Blondie, named so because of Debbie's bleached hair and the male catcalls it provoked. Soon, Blondie became a regular act at New York's CBGB and Max's Kansas City clubs. International success with Blondie. In 1976, Blondie released its self-titled debut album, which was moderately successful. This was followed by Plastic Letters, also a moderate hit. It was Blondie's 3rd studio album, 1978's Parallel Lines, that would launch the band to global fame. The album produced 6 singles, most notably the international hit Heart of Glass, which reached #1 in both the US and UK and sold close to 2 million copies. Blondie's success continued the next year with the release of Eat to the Beat, which reached number 1 in the UK and number 17 in the US. It eventually went platinum. Even more recognition came with the 1980 release of Auto-American. The album, which hit number 7 in the US, spawned hit singles including The Tide is High and Rapture. That year, Blondie also had number 1 hits with Call Me, which was the theme song to the Richard Gere film American Gigolo, and Atomic, which had been on the Eat to the Beat album. Solo career. Harry started a solo singing career in 1981 with the release of Cuckoo. Peaking at number 25 in the US and number 6 in the UK, it was eventually certified gold and silver in those countries. The lead single from the album, Backfired, had a music video directed by the famed Swiss artist H.R. Geiger, who had also designed the album's controversial cover art featuring Harry's mutilated face. In 1982, Harry regrouped with Blondie for the release of The Hunter, which failed to match the success of the band's previous work. Following Blondie's subsequent split that year, Debbie slowed her solo career to focus on caring for Chris Stein, who was ill with an autoimmune disease. During this time, she released the singles Rush Rush and Feel the Spin. In 1986, Harry released her sophomore solo album, Rockbird, which reached number 97 in the US and number 31 in the UK. Meanwhile, its single French Kissin' in the USA became a top 10 hit in the UK. Another single was In Love with Love, which made it to number 1 on the US dance charts. Further solo career and Blondie reunion. In 1989, Harry released her next solo album, Deaf, Dumb and Blonde, which spawned hit singles including I Want That Man, Sweet and Low, and Maybe for Sure. For the following few years, Harry toured across the world with Chris Stein, Carl Hyde, and Lee Fox. She subsequently released the solo album Deprivation and worked as a guest vocalist with a number of bands. Blondie regrouped in 1997 with the band's 4 original members. 2 years later, the band released No Exit, which produced the number 1 single Maria. In 2003, the band released The Curse of Blondie. Harry also continued on with solo albums such as Necessary Evil and Pollinator. Catalog sale. In August 2020, Debbie and her Blondie bandmate Chris Stein sold 197 of their biggest hits to Hypnosis Songs Limited for an undisclosed sum. Film career. Beyond Blondie and her solo career, Harry has appeared in several movies. She was in some art films directed by Amos Poe and went uncredited in 1975's Deadly Hero. Her first leading role came in the neo-noir Union City, released in 1980. In 1983, she had a leading role opposite James Woods in the David Cronenberg body horror movie Videodrome. Later in the 1980s, Debbie starred in Forever, Lulu, Satisfaction, and the John Waters cult comedy dance classic Hairspray. In the 90s, Harry was in such films as Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, Heavy, Cop Land, and 6 Ways to Sunday. Credits in the 2000s include The Fluffer, Deuces Wild, All I Want, My Life Without Me, Full Grown Men, and Elegy. Thank you for watching and kindly subscribe, like and share this video to family and friends.